highlight exceptional people or exceptional experiences that are making a difference in our society and bringing back hope to the Nigerian people. All right, my name is P. Catch, that is Prince Kachi, and I also have in the studio with me Miss Loretta.
Good morning, good to have you.
All right, so on today's episode of the program, we are going to be looking at one exceptional man that has made a difference in the political scene in Nigeria since he stepped in. And who are we talking about here? We're talking about the man, Mr. Peter Obi, and the frenzy around him. All right, we have seen a massive support in the past few months for the man, Peter Obi, and his candidacy for the president of Nigeria. All right, moving forward to the general elections in 2023. All right, Mr. Peter Obi has paired with Yusuf Datti to become a very strong force moving forward in the general elections. We're going to be discussing the massive youth mobilization, the massive youth movement, also known as the Datti movement or the obedience movement, all right, which has enveloped the whole country and has stirred up everywhere, both from the north, the south, and the east and west, western part of this nation, Nigeria. So that is what we're going to be discussing today. We have a couple of guests that will be joining us on the show later. We're going to be introducing them as they come on. But Loretta, I'm going to come to you now. So since Mr. Peter Obi came to the scene, we saw him back then in 2015 when he paired with Mr. Atiku, all right, for the presidency of Nigeria, even though they didn't win the elections. But I guess that was when the popularity of Mr. Peter Obi started gaining weight on the national scene. Okay, so he started getting more prominent from that candidacy with Atiku. All right, so but this year he decided to run for president and not become a vice anymore. He wanted to come out on his own. And then we saw that he couldn't get the platform of the PDP to come out, okay, because there are other heavyweights such as Atiku who has emerged as the candidate of the PDP once again. So Mr. Peter Obi left the PDP and moved to the Labour Party to run for the office of President of Nigeria. A lot of people thought that that was a very weak move and probably a mistake on his side, that he shouldn't have left the PDP, and you know, that it wasn't going to work for him and he was just wasting his time. But we have seen that over time, the momentum has been building up and he has been gathering support from people all over Nigeria. It's not just about a sectional thing or ethnic thing. Now the support is coming from all over Nigeria. What do you have to say about this Peter Obi movement? Okay,
I would want to say that it's a great move, and it has nothing to do with political parties. It has nothing to do with ethnicity and all of that. And the fact that one thing I admire a lot about him is he's a youth. He's a strong man. We have we've had other leaders before now leading us, and to us we feel they don't really have the strength, the vigor, and the energy, what it takes to take Nigeria to where it's supposed to be. I feel the main reason why the youth today and lots of Nigerians are clamoring for the Labour Party candidate is they feel he is credible, and his level of morale and integrity. So I think it's something that I really admire so much, and this is not about ethnicity or political party. So whether he's in PDP, APC or not, as long as he's the man that we are seeing, we believe him and we know he will emerge.
Okay. So we all are aware of the major political parties in Nigeria, which is the APC and the PDP. The APC being the ruling party. Okay, and we have always wanted a third force. We have always wanted another option. Okay, and so many in the past, so many other parties have tried to present themselves as the third force, but none have really pulled that off successfully, the way that we are seeing it now with Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Yet it seems as if the Labour Party hasn't gotten that prominence yet. They haven't reached that widespread. A lot of people have said that they don't have the structure, okay, and they haven't really conquered areas, territories, states. It's still a new party in the eyes of so many people. In fact, there are so many people that are not aware of the name Labour Party. All right, but we find Peter Obi under that platform and running under that platform. Now, do you think that this platform is strong enough? Okay, do you think it is strong enough to deliver Mr. Peter Obi as the candidate, as the president of Nigeria?
I think it's strong enough to deliver him. The main reason why people are saying that is because no president has emerged from that party. And if you know, before APC became so popular, another party has been there. Another party has been there before APC came up. And it's not going to be PDP and APC forever. Other parties will come up and will emerge. So for me, I know the next top party is going to be the Labour Party. So the main reason why they are talking like that is because once we have a president emerge from that party, I believe people will start saying, oh, I think they have the structure, they have all of this, because for now they are saying there's no structure, there's no this, there's no that. But once he emerges, that's Mr. Peter Obi and Dati, once they emerge as the president of our nation, Nigeria, I believe all of that will change.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Loretta. I want to tell our viewers out there that you can actually join the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag HopeAlive. All right, use the hashtag HopeAlive and you can ask your own questions on the program today. If you're on Facebook, you can also send us a message on the Facebook platform at Obidati Family TV and send your questions and your opinion about our discussion today. All right, I think we have Mr. Nnamdi Chude on the line, and he is the mobilizer for the Obidati campaign. He is a great online and offline influencer for the Obidati campaign. So, Mr. Nnamdi Chude, are you there with us?
Yeah, good morning.
All right, good morning, Mr. Nnamdi Chude. So we understand the work that you have been doing so far for the Obidati campaign. How far do you think you guys as a team or as obedient supporters have come in this campaign?
Okay. We have gone a long way from January to now, when we began the mobilization and organizing support for Peter Obi and Labour Party. From the grassroots sensitization,
All right, we'll go on a very short break now, but we'll be right back and we'll continue the conversation with Mr. Nnamdi Chude. Please stay with us.
Are you planning a trip to Anambra State, Nigeria, and you need a place of comfort, a place to relax and catch some fun? Well, Grassroots Hotel and Suites Oka is the place to be. Grassroots Hotel is equipped with luxurious rooms ranging from the standard rooms, the deluxe rooms, the executive rooms, the presidential suites, apartments, with special features. The amenities in this room include a smart TV with multiple TV channels, the king-size wardrobe, the uninterrupted power supply, the water heater, free Wi-Fi, and more. The Roots treats you with a complimentary breakfast from their exquisite cuisine, not leaving out their superior waiting lounge and exciting bar. The outdoor area has a casino and games with stylish swimming pool and exercise arena. The gym, of course, is enabled with sporting gadgets for your physical fitness. The grandeur of Donri's environment leaves you in total awe. Visit Donri's Hotel and Suites today and experience the comfort away from home.
You're welcome back to the program Hope Alive on Obidati Family TV, and we still have Mr. Nnamdi Chude on the line, and he's going to be telling us more about the Obidati movement. All right, Mr. Nnamdi Chude, you were telling us how far you have come in the Obidati mobilization and the Obidati campaign. Please, can you continue?
Okay, so we have gone a long way since we began in January this year. From when Peter Obi was in PDP, there was a lot of grassroots mobilization and awareness campaign, starting from the PVC registration, awareness marches we did all over the country, from various support groups. We went out in the streets of Nigeria to wake up the people to say, okay, this is the time, get your PVC and be ready to vote for the best candidates. I don't think there is any other political party that did such thing. Even if they did it, not for the essence that we did it. So and you can see the result in the spike of voter registration from January till the end in July. I don't think Nigeria, INEC has ever had it that good before. So you can say that the emergence of Peter Obi raised the political participation in Nigeria, especially among young people. And coming to the now that he is party, and still is happening, various support groups going into the towns and villages in Nigeria and cities, organizing marches for Peter Obi in support of Peter Obi and Labour Party. The people transform for these things. They organize this massive rallies across Nigeria, and not even from a party or Peter Obi himself. So I can say that we have done a lot of work, and there is still a lot to be done. So I can say that the future is bright for Peter Obi and Labour Party. His chances are high, and I'm hopeful that in February 2023 he will be declared the winner of the election.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nnamdi. You have connected the emergence of Mr. Peter Obi to the massive turnout of voters, that's people that are registered for the PVC in the past few months. Okay, so you have connected the emergence of Peter Obi to that. I don't know how true that is, but I will just take your word for it. But I want to understand something. I want to understand, how does this Obidati movement work? The 1 million marches that have held in different states, is there a body of people, or is there a person that organizes these rallies and these marches, or is it just spontaneous?
I think it's spontaneous. I think it's something that you can't point to one source. It's something that the people do. It's organic. The people come together, form a support. There are over 100 support groups for people across Nigeria, if not more. I can't count it. So I used to tell people that the support people, the support groups people have offline is bigger, way bigger than the ones that are registered online. There's something we call coalition for support groups for people. They are there. So they are just coming together of these support groups to form a stronger body. So the marches, the 1 million marches across Nigeria, it's sponsored by support groups. These are individuals with like minds coming together to show support for people. It's not Labour Party, it's not people. It's Nigerians doing these things. You can see it from the way people have come out to donate their houses for people to campaign for Labour Party offices, donate their cars for campaign and awareness. We have seen people donate millions to campaign, and these are people that have not been active in politics before. So now, somebody like me have not participated in anything politics in Nigeria, and so it is for many millions of Nigerians coming out today to support people. That is why whenever you have, whenever we have these marches, you see people coming out to support people. They will surely come up. Man, like for example in Lagos, we have this mega rally coming up in 1st October. So the support groups are the ones to go get a police order for it, set up bands and music for the march, then security, So the people, once we announce it online, okay, we are having this, the people are excited about it. So the emergence of Peter Obi as a presidential candidate has given Nigerians hope. It is something that has never been there.
Yes.
Something that we have never seen. In the past, people are paid to come out for this, for political campaigns. We have seen whereby all these political parties, they hire people to wear their campaign photos and cards to come and make noise for them. But it is not so for people. Somebody like me, how much would you give me to come out for this the other party? I can't, because the zeal is not there. But people, we have awakened the spirit in among Nigerians, young and old. So that is why you see them coming out every weekend across the cities in Nigeria to show support for him on page.
Okay, so we have seen that Mr. Peter Obi has garnered a lot of organic support. And never in the history of this country have we had it like this before. I think the closest that we will use to compare with this would be the 1993 elections and the support for Abiola, even though that election was eventually truncated, and Abiola was sent to prison afterwards. But I want to ask you now, do you see or do you envision a situation where these elections in 2023 comes and goes and Mr. Peter Obi does not emerge?
Even online, it's a point of concern. So people will say, what if Peter Obi didn't win? I think even if Peter Obi didn't, don't imagine the winner of the 2023 election come next year. Peter Obi has created a huge impact. Peter Obi has watered the ground for candidates, competent people in politics. And from what he has done in this season of election, him coming out in the future will be like, it will be more easier because Nigerians are woke now.
Okay.
We have never seen it before. Like you said, the only political awareness we have close to people who 2023 presidency in 1993 Abiola presidential campaign.
Yes.
So it's not a way, and we are not going to give up. Even if people didn't emerge in this season, in 4 years' time we are going to come back, and we must surely take back this country from these evil politicians that have kept this country backwards and in the state of things.
All right, still on that line, just let us imagine now that Peter Obi does not win the elections. Do you foresee violence or things getting out of hand with the massive youth support for Peter Obi? Do you foresee a violence breaking out if Peter Obi does not win the elections?
Okay, I will say this here. If the Peter Obi lost on a normal ground, there wouldn't be any reason to revolt. There wouldn't be any reason for protest. But if with what we are seeing now from INEC and these political parties, there have been massive corruption and whatnot from INEC. We have seen cases where people from other nationalities going for PVC registration, and people their information are not there in INEC portal are now
right here, Abeokuta, Ogun State. This is the
okay. For example, there is something I saw on the INEC portal. There is something INEC have this live capturing. You must go to their office. They will use their computer and capture you.
Yeah.
But right there in INEC portal, there are passports, photographs of individuals who registered for BBC. So when this starts, when it's not something you do with passport. If you go there in INEC portal, it's there. You don't bring your passport. So where are these people? Who are these people? Who registered them with passport? So you see, so we will never take a situation where they rig this election against Peter Obi. I think we are going to stand up for it. We are going to protest, just like we did during the 2020 NSAS protest. I think it's going to be something like that, because we can't continue like this, leaving these people to decide our future. Almost 50% of Nigerians are out of job. They don't have jobs. So we can't. These people are telling with our future. So it's not going to be business as usual, and they know. And I don't think they are out to risk it, because if they do, I think this will result to big protest in Nigeria. The people will rise against it.
Okay, Mr. Nnamdi Chude, thank you very much. While you were talking, I heard you saying, Mr. Peter Obi, this obedience movement has woken the spirit of a lot of Nigerians that they are now involved in political participation. So and in the process of campaigning for Mr. Peter Obi, we've met some persons who will tell you that they don't believe Mr. Peter Obi is going to be different from every other president we've had, that in the course of campaigning, they come up with series of promises, and at the end of the day, once they emerge as winner, they end up disappointing the citizens. So do you think Peter Obi will disappoint the people when he finally emerges as the president of Nigeria?
Okay. Peter Obi will not disappoint the people.
Okay.
And you can see from his antecedents, his history in politics, Peter Obi is not there for his own pocket. Peter Obi is someone that is known for being prudent with public funds. And Peter Obi has not promised Nigerian heaven and earth. This is what he's preaching is that, see, let's cut down the cost of governance in this country. Because and the level of corruption in our governance is just unimaginable. So, from what we have seen from Peter Obi, what he did in Anambra State, I don't think Peter Obi will disappoint. Peter Obi governed Anambra State. He never owned workers' salary. He paid pension and gratuity to the sum of over 35 billion naira. He cleared the debt. He never owned anyone during the time he was in government. Even when he left office, he left over 75 billion for Anambra State. So I see no reason why Peter Obi will disappoint. I believe Peter Obi will never disappoint Nigerians. And this is why Nigerians are solidly behind him, because of his history. Check out the other guys contesting. You see their hands in corruption cases and all that. But check out Peter Obi. He has been there. He has done it before. He has seen it all. He is the man for the job. He will never disappoint Nigerians.
Wow. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Nnamdi Chude. We're going to drop it there. He is never going to disappoint Nigerians. Let us believe that he won't disappoint Nigerians indeed, and let us hope that he wins the general elections come 2023. Thank you for being with us today. All right, we have also Mr. Uche Okoye, who also goes by the name Anambra First Son on Twitter. He is a digital media entrepreneur, and he is an online influencer. All right, he is also a young person who is supporting Mr. Peter Obi's candidacy for the president of Nigeria come 2023 in the general elections. Mr. Uche Okoye, it is good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. All right, so we have seen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, so we have seen. It looks like you are on transit. It looks like you're on transit. I really hope that you can really hear me and contribute on the program today. Okay, so I will start with the first question. So we have seen a lot of massive support for Mr. Peter Obi, and it's looking as if it's from a particular demography, which is the youth. We've seen a lot of young people come out to support Mr. Peter Obi. Now, I want to ask you, are there not other people apart from this age bracket, okay, that are supporting Mr. Peter Obi? Why is it that it's the young people that are out on the front lines? The young people are the ones handling the matches. The young people are the ones on social media talking about Mr. Peter Obi. Why is it so?
Okay, to be honest, I don't think it is only the young people, a particular demographic that supports Mr. Peter Obi. I think everybody, if you look at Nigeria as well, we all experience the same problem. We experience the same bad economy. We experience the same bad governance. So it is really not just the young people. However, it appears that the young people who have access to social media are using that social media to propagate the message, to speak new language to Nigerians. And that's exactly what is happening. We have older generation who may not be able to be on social media just like the young people. This message, but it cuts across everybody because we all experience the same thing. We go to the same market, we go to the same police station, we use the same infrastructure. So we all have the same problem. So I'm sure that across demographic, they're all looking for good governance and of course betterment of Nigeria. So I would like to say that even though a certain demographic who are majorly in support of establishment, I can also say that the young people and some older people who have seen the need to have a change of driver in our country, and they are also on board, I can tell you authoritative. So, being that is been, the younger people are very loud, they are driving this conversation, they are very, very active on social media and offline, they are investing their resources. And I can also say that the older generation are also putting in their work through advisory, telling us about, giving us information as regards to experience and other areas that we may not be able to cover. So, to answer your question straightforward, the P2B wave, the obedience movement, it is not strictly for the young people. However, the young people have somehow dominated the conversation, so it appears that it appeals to only certain demographics.
Okay. So in the past, it was said that the movement is mostly online, and that these were online people, and that on the election day, it's not going to translate to votes, okay, on the election day. But we have seen 1 million matches in different states of the country, and the campaign has not even started yet. And so what do you have to say to people that still believe that this obedient movement is just an online frenzy? Hello, Mr. Uche Okoye. Did you hear the question?
Okay. Yes, I got the question. Of course, you have to understand that the people, the ruling class, there are certain elements who are trying to undermine the work and the efforts of the young people. Who are this structure? Structure is just human beings. They are not physical structure. So when they talk about structure, they are also, it translates to human beings, people who are on ground, people who are, are forming groups, making efforts. So, but what has happened is this. Since social media has come into existence to democratize information, the young people have also embraced social media, and they have utilized it perfectly to galvanize and mobilize people. That structure, which they used to galvanize, using physical meetings and other means, we are now doing that, even achieving more with just social media. So we are disrupting the political process, and they are calling it or they are trying to undermine that effort by saying that we do not have physical structure. Another thing you have to understand that is, right now, the people who are the electorates are the biggest determinants of any election in anywhere in the world. And the people are beginning to galvanize, are beginning to rally around support for a candidate. You can't really dismiss it, but you have to understand that we are dealing with the people who are intentionally ignorant, or people who want to just outrightly dismiss the effort to make it seem like we are wasting our time. But then, come next year, we are going to teach them a very serious lesson they've never seen before, because this is something new. It has never happened before. So you expect them to dismiss it. We expect them to downplay it. But we are not relying. We are not looking at what they are saying. Look at the world generally. Internet and social media has democratized and demystified a lot of things. Look at where the internet has come to disrupted the established system. That is the same way the young people are using social media and internet to also disrupt their so-called structure that is built on corruption. All right. So we are not paying attention to those movements because it has nothing to add or remove from what we are pushing. We are determined and present on this journey.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Uche Okoye. I'm going to ask you a question. Now, do you really think that Mr. Peter Obi can fix Nigeria? Of course, we've had people present campaigns and manifestos to us in the past, and some of them have promised us change. We've heard that mantra before, but in the end, we didn't really see the change that we desire. So the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi, even though the campaign has not started, we are yet to see his manifesto and hear his own promises for Nigeria. But for you as a supporter, okay, I believe that you weren't paid to do what you are doing. But I want to understand, do you really believe that Mr. Peter Obi can fix this country?
Okay, I would like to say that fixing Nigeria is not something that will just happen a day or 2 days or in a year or 2 years. It's something that happens, for every years. It takes time because the kind of rot that has happened or that has been created in the country Nigeria is very enormous. But what I can tell you from experience, from his antecedents, he governed Anambra State and I witnessed that. So I can tell you with that Peter Obi has what it takes to turn around Nigeria, to put a lot of things in place. He will first of all disrupt the current system that we are currently operating. That's what I'm sure that he's going to do. He's going to also disrupt the political establishment that is constituting nuisance to our politics. He's also going to, I'm very sure that Peter Obi is going to cut down the cost of governance. This is something he has done very perfectly well as a governor. So it is something that we are hoping, because that's one of the major challenges that we're facing as a country. We have a very serious overloaded budget. The governance is not well defined. There are so many losses in the system. These are the things that Peter Obi has done when he was governor in Anambra State. He was able to streamline, he was able to cut cost of governance. He has prudence and financial management as one of the biggest selling points. So these are the challenges that we have in Nigeria. Peter Obi is somebody that is very focused in education, and he's going to revitalize that. Having done that in Anambra State, taking Anambra from 27th to #1, that is very unprecedented. Peter Obi has really done well in rural, rural and development. If you go to Anambra State today, you can really say that Anambra is generally urbanized because of how he simultaneously developed the whole plan. He also came up with a strategy called Anambra, integrated development strategy that was geared towards developing all sectors simultaneously, and that really was very effective. So I am very sure that if Peter Obi becomes the president today, one of the things that will happen will be restoring confidence Because if you don't have confidence in government, you may not actually achieve anything. So that is the first thing that will fundamentally happen in Nigeria. And the second one is that the foreign investment will start to flow. Our diaspora, look at what he did in diaspora. He went to consult the diasporans. And what that means is that he's sending a very strong signal that the diasporans have a very strong stake in Nigerian economy. And of course, any nation can think of in war. Their diaspora has been the bedrock of their growth and development. And that is what I am very, very optimistic about. I am very sure, I'm very, very sure that Peter Obi has what it takes to restore confidence, hope, and aspiration of Nigerians, young millions of Nigerians who are yearning for change, who are yearning for positive change, not the type of change we have in 2015. And so Peter Obi is not going to fail because he is well prepared. If you look at his track record in the private sector, Peter Obi has excelled very well. In his private life, he has excelled very well. In the public sector, he has excelled very well. Look at the other candidates, the people who are contesting against him. You see the track record, you can't compare them. Begin to doubt his capacity when he has shown that in both the private and public service. So I am 100% sure that Peter Obi will not disappoint, and that's why we are throwing our hearts in the ring. My support for him and galvanizing support for him stems from what we experienced when he was the executive governor of Anambra State. And that is what I'm sure that he's going to bring in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to ask you two questions. I'm going to start with the first one. Now, Peter Obi seems to be one of the youngest people, the youngest candidates in the elections. He may not be the youngest because we have some other parties that probably are not well known. But let's take the four prominent ones for an example now. The APC, PDP, Labour Party, and NNPP. All right, so Peter Obi seems to be the youngest person amongst the four. All right, if Peter Obi emerges as the winner of the elections, okay, come 2023, do you see a more inclusive government where we see the youth participating more in politics and holding political positions that matter in this country? And that is one. Okay, so secondly, do you foresee crisis breaking out in the country just in case Peter Obi does not win the election in the 23 elections? Do you think that crisis will break out in the country if he does not win? Your response, please.
Okay, the first question is, do I think that Peter Obi is going to be inclusive? Do I see the young people getting involved in governance? The answer is simple, yes. Because politics is about interest. The young people who are out in the streets, who are making a very important efforts to ensure that Peter Obi comes to power, they have invested their resources and time and energy to ensure that happens. So they are stakeholders of this project. So of course, going to be involved. If you look at Peter Obi, people who have been working with him, and from the one, he, even as a governor, was one of the youngest. He happens to be the youngest chairman of Fidelity Bank. So he has always been a very young person in heart and in every sector he finds himself at any era. So right now, he may not be the youngest presidential candidate, but he is very energetic and very young. You can see how he was able to talk to different continents and countries. And he was very, very energetic. He never didn't weigh any down. He didn't complain. He didn't go to the hospital. Just like the way we have other candidates who trottle to hospital every now and then. So Peter Obi, first off, is going to be inclusive. He's going to involve young and old, and definitely going to also be very inclusive in terms of gender equality. And on the other hand, whether there will be crisis, I don't want to even talk about this case because Peter Obi is definitely going to win. So there's no if in this case. We are sure of what we are doing. We have the highest number of registered voters. The young people have the highest number of registered voters, and we are doing the work. We are on ground. we are competing against, they will still come to us. So we hold the names. All right. So there's no if whether he will or not. However, if you look at Peter Obi antecedents and the president, you see he's a very peaceful person. He believes in rule of law. So he's someone that I know that will never incite his followers or his supporters to do anything unlawful. So you can be rest assured that Nigeria, nothing will happen to Nigeria. And of course, Peter Obi loves Nigeria. And of course, that's why he's throwing his ring, his heart in the ring. And everything the kind of support that is required to make these projects, to be accomplished. So I'm going to say that there won't be anything, there's no cause for alarm. Those who are fomenting trouble, those who are, planting such narrative online are intentionally doing that to gaslight young people, to make us believe that we are the problem. Oh, we are the problem. They are the architect of this problem. They are the one that's creating the confusion that we experience in the society or in online or everywhere. So I do not have any doubts that Peter Obi will bring about positive change, and will also definitely calm the nerves if there's anything that is against what we expected. But I'm not.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Uche. I have a question for you. Before now, we've heard people say the Labour Party do not have the financial capacity to win this election. We've heard people say the other political parties, they have the financial capacity, so they are waiting on for the very time of election so that they can easily lure the people to sway or change their mind from voting for Mr. Peter Obi, and from the support that the people have been giving, the citizens, the youths and the old, from the support they've been giving, do you think the people might be easily lured or made to change their decision on the day of election?
Right. I do not think. Well, you cannot really. I can only trust myself. All right. I can only trust myself. But I want to tell you that people are tired. People are really tired. Look at the whole federation. Look at that level of mobilization and the value that we are seeing. That if other political parties had done something like that, they would have spent billions. But look at Peter has not even given anybody any money. All right, he has not disbursed, and yet people are bringing out their resources, investing. I know how much I've invested in this project, my own resources. So it is about people's project. So I can't invest this type of resources. I can't spend all this type of time, and somebody will just come and say, "Oh, I'll give them." For how much? Again, look at what happened in Delta State. A young man who happens to be one of the mobilizers rejected appointments and financial inducement from the governor, vice presidential, who is a vice presidential candidate. He rejected it, and he saw it online. That should show you how resolute, how committed young people are to ensuring that Peter Obi emerges winner come 2023. So we are not deterred. We are not. People like us are very, committed 100%. There's no amount. There's no amount of threats, there's no amount of gaslighting, there's no amount of bribery or whatever that will deter some of us. I can't completely speak for everyone, but I can tell you 80% of obedience, 100% committed to this project.
Okay.
I am very, very optimistic that at the end of the day, we will come out victorious.
Okay, with the way everyone is clamoring for Mr. Peter Obi, can you confidently say that we are on the verge of a new Nigeria?
The new Nigeria, seeing people from the north, from north center, everywhere, people are in this project committed. They are all putting in their money, putting in their efforts. So it is not even a regional thing. It's not a regional project. You saw the rally in those states. You saw the rally in Oyo State. You saw the rally in Nasarawa, in Benue, in Taraba. All right. There are all parts of the country are in this project, and this is the first of its kind. That never happened before. There is no state that we do not have presence. There's no state we do not have people support to actively involved in getting people to buy into this project. There is no single state. Beyond even Nigeria, there are people who are not Nigeria that are also invested in this project. All right, so that's to show you that this is not just it's something that is going to take Nigeria to where it rightfully belongs. That's the giant of Africa that we are supposed to be. But let me say this. That the project is something that I believe that will restore confidence and, of course, restore the image of Nigeria across the world and place us where we rightly belong. I say it because Peter Obi represents everything good. He represents progress, he represents competence, he represents ability and character and integrity. So if we have somebody that represents all these things in our politics, definitely going to bring about good tidings. So I encourage everybody listening to me, if you are still doubting, if you are still, arguing or maybe still weighing your options, please, there's no time anymore. Just jump into the trend, because if you look at the last poll that was released by Anambra, you will see that shows that Peter Obi is leading, with a very, in earlier poll release. And what it means is that people are buying into the project. So Peter Obi represents the good tidings, and that is what everybody is hoping to see. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, well, that's a very good one, Uche. Good to see you. Pikash, you guys are doing well. Uche, I've been listening to all the things you have to say, and I'm quite impressed at the level of your optimism. Which actually backed with the facts on ground. So, there is something I would like you to factor while we are all positive and optimistic about the Peter Obi project. What do you see as a major challenge affect Peter Obi's chances of winning the presidency next year? And also, in the event that he wins, what do you think would be his biggest challenge given the realities of
it's very simple. Okay? So I was going to say to you, I was going to respond straight away. Is INEC. INEC is our biggest headache. INEC is our biggest challenge. INEC is our biggest opposition. Right now, we have completely dominated the conversation on social media space. We have completely controlled the narrative. We are currently going into rural areas, because that's where they are banking on to rig and manipulate the system. But we are investing serious energy and effort and money into getting those things in their bag. INEC happens to be at the up game that we are going to be facing in this election. If you recall, just yesterday, the CUPP guy, remind me his name now, he was in the news, to expose the irregularities. Yes, to expose the irregularities within the INEC portal. And that has really triggered something very unexpected, something that has never happened in Nigeria. There will be Occupy INEC, where Nigerian youths, the young people, are going to demand accountability from INEC. Because INEC is functioning with the people's taxes. I pay my tax, and my tax should be able to deliver on any project that it is being budgeted for. Federal government budget billions of naira for INEC. So they owe us so much. They owe us the responsibility of accountability. They owe us to deliver a free and fair election, which we are expecting to have next year. So they happen to be the biggest challenge that we have right now in this politics. After the INEC, I don't think there is any other problem that we may be facing. And on our own end, we are prepared. We are ready to go. If the election is happening tomorrow, we are very, very confident that we are going to win. But what we are not sure is as a body. So that's where our challenge lies.
Yeah, I think that's the first submission. But then, you know, is there any plan on ground by P2P supporters to put INEC on the edge of, you know, getting their job done and doing it professionally to the best of their ability? So is that something that you know the supporters or support groups or Nigerians you know should do or are already doing? You know, to put INEC on check so that you know this you know they are you know bound by the covenant of the rules and laws of you know their job to be able to do it and do it very well the way it's supposed to be without you know being like you know they say an unbiased umpire.
Okay, of course, I told you that we are already organizing march. We also taking a class action. We are putting everything in place to hold INEC accountable. We're not going to leave any stone unturned. We're not going to allow them to rubbish our efforts. So it's not going to happen. Remember during the CBR, in the continuous voter registration, we also mobilized everybody. We mobilize young people, we mobilize everybody to go get registered. We are currently also mobilizing, encouraging young Nigerians or everybody to go get their PVC. We are also going to ensure that INEC adequately distributes this PVC to get that's registered. We are going to ensure that. We are also going to ensure that INEC does not differentiate anybody. It doesn't happen. We are going to ensure that happens 100%. So just trust that we have everything on ground. Right now, we are taking serious plans to carry out mass. This is on our own, not P2P. We are not waiting for P2P, but this is our mandate. That's what P2P said, and I agree completely with that. Because we told him that we've got one running. The millions of Nigerian youths are running this election through him. So it is going to be an effort from the people, not even from P2P or the Labour Party. We are taking it upon ourselves to take back our country. And that is, you know, in doing that, we have to put everything in place. And one of the things we have to do is to ensure that INEC delivers an ability of non-biased umpire.
Precisely. Well, all right. So I don't know about that. I would like you to also look at the scenario. What would you consider, or do you consider the most or the biggest challenge that might be facing Peter Obi in the case he becomes the next president of Nigeria? And also, what or how do you think, what trajectory do you think Nigeria is headed in the event that he does not become the next president of Nigeria?
To the people in the studio.
Okay, the last question is what I'm going to be responding to, which is which trajectory with Nigeria goes to if in case it doesn't become it. I don't like answering this question because it's never going to happen. But like I said, this is our election to lose. I mean, this is our election to lose, and we are not going to lose. So there's no if. So that case is not even a factor. The first question is. If he becomes the president, the challenges. Of course, there will be challenges. He's not going there to give us excuses. He said it very loud and clear. In Anambra State, before he became the governor, Anambra was close to Somalia. It was ungovernable. It was where the criminals took over the asylum, as he usually say. And what happened? They fought him to Tanzania. He was removed twice in the office. He battled, and he battled the other things single-handedly. For this time around, the Nigerian establishment that we're going to be fighting, he will have us to contend with. So it's not under the Peter Obi's party. So when you hear people say, he doesn't have a senator, he doesn't have a rep, he doesn't have all this, he doesn't have all that. They are in for a very big stuff to come. You know, I don't want to give much details because so that they wouldn't go and start planning. But let them know that one way that they can reform is to have Peter Obi deliver on his mandate and ensure that there's no iota of distraction for any form of establishment, comes on his way. So anyone who may not want to be at the National Assembly, if you don't want to be at the National Assembly, or if National Assembly is not where you want to be, don't just go there and cause confusion. Alright, Peter Obi is not Jonathan, Peter Obi is not Louis, Peter Obi has seen it before, and he's going to ensure, we are sure that he's going to ensure that he restore peace and sanity in Nigeria, just like he did in Anambra. So we are very hopeful, we are not expecting anything less, excellent, and we believe that he's going to put in his 100% effort. It may not come out 100% results, but we trust, from what we've seen so far, that Peter Obi's commitment to making Nigeria a better place is unquestionable. It's something that is you cannot discount. So I will leave it here, but let me say that Peter Obi's mandate is a people's mandate. It's a mandate that we all have invested in. We all are believing, hoping that it's going to come out good. We are not expecting anything less. So that is where I yield my. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Uche Okoye, Anambra first son. It was a pleasure having you on the program today. We hope that we can also reach out to you and have you again on the program. Thank you very much. Also, thank you to Mr. Ibuka Onyekolu, who has joined us via Zoom. He was supposed to be in the studio today, but he had to attend to some very important responsibilities. Thank you, Mr. Ibuka, for joining us again. We miss you, but we hope that you'll be around for the next episode. Okay, viewers, we hope that you had a wonderful time watching the program today. We've had very rich sessions with our guests. I also want to thank our guest, our first guest, Mr. Nnamdi Chude, for his contribution on the program today. We want to say that Nigeria once again has hope, and there is reason for us to wake up in the morning and smiling and envisioning a new Nigeria under the platform of the Labour Party and with the candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Datti come 2023 in the general elections. Even as the campaigns are beginning to start, they're going to be starting by the 28th of this month, September. We look forward to the manifesto of Mr. Peter Obi, where he's going to read out to us exactly what he has planned, okay, for Nigerians in the 2023 general elections. All right, Ms. Loretta, do you have any last words before we end the show?
Thank you very much for your time, and I would like to admonish you to give your full support. This is a movement and it means a lot to us. Be a part of this. Thank you. Bye for now.
All right, that is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program Hope Alive on Obidati Family TV. All right, don't forget that you can join the conversation on Twitter by using the hashtag Hope Alive, okay? Also on Facebook, go and join the program on Obidati Family TV. All right, that's our offering on today's episode. Please join us once again next week for another exciting episode of the program Hope Alive. Till we catch you again next week, my name still remains Prince Kachi. Bye for now.